What is good, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'll be showing you guys the best settings in Black Ops 6. So we're gonna be starting with the graphic settings, then in the Nvidia settings for the people that are playing on PC, then audio, then controller settings as well. So first things first, you want to always be on full screen exclusive. If you are not, you're not gonna get as many frames as possible. And if you do tab out of the game, you want to make sure you go back to full screen exclusive, because it will randomly switch to full screen borderless. And then you want to just have your display monitor, your display adapter, your screen refresh rate. You always want to have it on the auto, whatever it is, whether that's, for me, 240, or if you have like a 360, you can go up there, and so on. Display resolution, always 1920 by 1080. For the Nvidia reflex low latency, it depends if you are CPU bound or GPU bound. So I use on plus boost, but if you are GPU bound, I think you should be using on. Going down, we go to focus mode. I put it on 0, and then we go to quality. Quality, you absolutely need to have render resolution on 100. Then you go to upscaling and sharpening, and you need to have fidelity CAS. If you don't, your game will not look as good. And then make sure the strength is on 100, or your game will look very Robloxy and just not very good. Now, these settings you can kind of mess around depending on how good your PC is. If your PC isn't that good and you don't have the best graphics card, you should probably play on everything like a normal to low, maybe except for like detail quality. You can maybe keep that on high, or like certain very important settings. So right now I have normal on a lot of things because I have a pretty decent PC for the Call of Duty League. Depth of field off, you want to make sure this is off, or then things out of like your Linus, or like things around your gun will be like blurred in a way. Don't personally like that. Then I have normal, bullet impacts on, precision effects on, shadow quality high, low, shadow quality normal, screen shadows low, normal, low, tessellation off, and all these water settings, water quality all. This is very important. You need to make sure your field of view is something comfortable. I would say the preferred field of view is anywhere from like 197 to 100 to like 107 max is what like the professional players would play on. Of course, if you're just having fun playing public matches, you can run around and just have 120 and it looks like a montage, but it does get a little crazy. Then with affected, it's when you zoom in, your screen stays normal, but on independent, your whole screen like goes forward and you can see things at further range, which might be better for some of the bigger maps on this game, even though there are mostly small maps on this game. Then your weapon field of view is a wide, because your gun will look smaller, so it's just more area to see what your see the map, see your enemies, see everything. Go down here, you want to make sure this is off. World motion blur, weapon motion blur off, because it just looks gives you like a headache if you keep those on. And then same with the first person and third person camera movement, you always want these on least. Then an inverted flashbang, when you get flashed or stunned, your screen will go black instead of going white. So this is all personal preference, but it is a setting that you can use. And then yeah, that's it for the graphics. And if you are playing on PC, sorry about this sound, I just have to switch over my mouse input. You want to make sure you do your Nvidia control panel settings. So right click, show more options, Nvidia control panel. You need to make sure you on setup G-Sync, you disable G-Sync. You do not want this enabled. You want to change resolution as well. You want to make sure it's PC selected and you're always on 240 refresh rate. This could change sometimes, so make sure you're always checking consistently. And then it is adjust color settings, I believe. And I like putting my digital vibrance up to 70. This is all personal preference, but I just prefer 70. And then you also want to make sure, if you go to the overclock, you always want to make sure your controller is overclocked if you're on PC. If your controller is not overclocked, you will not be able to move as fast and it'll be slightly delayed. So make sure it says yes 1001 for the headset, microphone, wireless controller. This is what I always say. So make sure that is always overclocked. That's very important for your game to just feel smooth and look good. And now time for controller settings. So I personally play on default flipped. I made a really big change because I played on tactical flipped for years. I played on tactical since Call of Duty 4, so about 16-17 years. I made a big switch to be able to only focus on shooting with my right analog stick instead of having to crouch, prone, and move, and also aim with my right analog stick. So that's the reason I switched. But then I play on 6.6, have these all off, and to shoot with my bumpers like R1, L1, I put swap on, control vibration off, and my dead zone inputs. 0, then 4, but you can like test this out depending on the stick drift of your controller, how old it is or how new it is. You want the lower the better for the right stick min, but if your controller is older and is drifting, turn it up a little bit until it stops. Left trigger, right trigger, you make sure you put on 0 so you don't have any delay when you're trying to shoot in game. And going to aiming, you go over here. Where are these? This is all just kind of basic stuff right here. I mean, you just want your target aim assist on. Your aim advanced settings, you want to put on dynamic. And let's actually go to sprint assist. So sprint assist is just off because that's like the auto tactical sprint pretty much, and you want to have that off because it can sometimes like pull your gun up constantly and you won't be ready for gunfights. You go to movement behaviors, and then you could have double tap, single tap sprint, or single tap run, which are probably a little bit better than auto attack sprint because you're not just, your gun's constantly not just going up in the air. And going back to movement behavior, I personally use hybrid, so you can slide, you could dive, you could do everything. It's just the best movement. It does take some time to get used to, because when you do want to dive, you have to hold, like be going your right and then hold down on your left analog stick and then dive. So it takes time to get used to. I think it's definitely worth it. And then ADS behavior, just hold. Weapon mount activation, I turn that off. Personally do not like mounting on anything. And then all this other stuff, yeah, it's pretty just simple. And with the audio settings, it's going to be different for everyone's setup. I use a Go XLR personally. So you like do a lot of your setup, how loud, how quiet it is in Go XLR, but I always turn my gameplay music volume down so I don't have to hear the music in the lobby. Oops, didn't mean to click out of that. Then when you keep going down, I just still have Treyarch mix on. It's just the basic mix. I honestly don't mind it at all though, just because with the Go XLR, I feel like you can hear everything. Like a Go XLR feels like built-in sound EQ. These are all just pretty basic settings. The hit marker preset, you could actually change to a classic or just default if you want. That's all personal preference. And this is all just like the voice chat stuff you want to get set up, so you can go talk trash in game and do all that. And of course you want body shield chat on, so when you take someone as in your body shield, you can talk trash to them. And last but not least is the interface. They have a lot of important settings over here. The first thing you want to do is go to telemetry, and if you want to figure out what you want to put on, I usually have FPS counter on, the server latency and packet loss, so I know if I'm lagging, I know my ping on the server, and I know how much FPS I'm getting, and that's the most important things. All this other stuff you could put on as well, it just depends if you need to, but I would say these three are like a for sure thing that you absolutely need to have on. And then when you go over here to gameplay HUD, this is where you have to make sure your HUD bounds are all the way in. Oops, mine were not all the way in on this setup for some reason, but yeah, you want to go like this. Apply. Minimap square shape, you want to be square. You do not want it round. With square, you see more of the minimap. Then you also want to have your minimap rotation on, so when you're turning, you're getting different angles. You can see further on the minimap as well. It's very important. You want to go to crosshair, and you want to have it on static. So it's always keep crosshair fixed on screen, reduces motion sickness, but accurately represents the direction of fire. But it just is constantly there, so you like kind of know what you're centering at. And centering is very important when you're looking at a doorway, looking at a window, or expecting someone to fly around a corner. Your arch card, you like kind of know where you're looking at. You're like ready to go for the gunfight. Hit marker visuals on. You definitely want to see when you're getting hit markers and stuff. It's very important. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy these settings. Now you're going to go absolutely fry in Black Ops 6. I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, my name's Attach, and I'm out. Peace.